So this strange hand, we have 2 lands, throwing knife, read the bones, and a couple creatures. I think it's a keep. Just would love to have a 2-drop creature to get a little pressure going earlier. But read the bones seems really good in this matchup, so. Plus Aromancer seems also quite good in this matchup because if he's going to be killing my guys with Infernal Scarring or whatever on him, I can take advantage of it, get a little more card advantage out of the deal. Drew Stalwart Aven, which is pretty good. Opponent has no play on turn 2. Ooh, we drew a 2-drop. Excellent. So we'll play Cleric of the Forward Order. Opponent still has nothing going on. See if we can hit a land here. And we do. Lucky us. Let's start by attacking, see what happens. He just takes 2. Let's see if our Aven resolves. Looks like it does. Nothing going on from him. Towergeist, as expected. He pitches Undead Servant, which is kind of funny. If he has another one, that's going to get him some value. Let's draw. Infernal Scarring. So I have a decision to make here. Can play Infernal Scarring on my Stalwart Aven to guarantee that I can turn on Renown, because he can't block it for value. Seems like what I want to do. And I will offer the trade with Cleric, which he takes. This gets a counter. And I'll pass. There's Fleshbag Marauder, so we'll draw a card. We draw a land, lucky us. And another land. So let's start with, I guess, using our mana efficiently here. We'll play Charging Griffin. Next turn we have an option of either playing Knightly Valor or Aromancer getting back Infernal Scarring and playing it in the same turn. Depending on what he does, of course. Could also just read the bones if he is representing something. Jesse and Thief. And Reeve Soul. Okay. Prowess, when it deals damage, draw a card. It's pretty good right now. So my options aren't that great this turn, because I don't have anything to put Knightly Valor on, otherwise this turn would be a lot easier. I could start with Read the Bones, looking for... I think I'd rather just play Aromancer and put Infernal Scarring on it right away, just so I can block his guy. So this becomes a 4/2. So even if he manages to prowess his guy once, I'll be able to kill it. Doesn't have that many cards in hand right now. As long as we can avoid his Jesse and Thief getting out of control, I feel like we have enough gas to overwhelm him. He's taking his time thinking about it, which means he doesn't have an immediate way to push his guy through, hopefully. He's only on 1 black mana as well, which means he could have like the 5 mana destroy creature spell and just can't cast it yet. Been very impressed with Infernal Scarring so far. Possess Scab. Turn target instant sorcery or creature card from your graveyard to your hand. He gets Towergeist. Okay, so he's just going for the value play. It's pretty reasonable. Alright, so in this spot I feel like I want to go for the Knightly Valor while he's tapped too low to do anything. I assume there's nothing for a single blue mana that can punish me. I don't think Vapor Snag or whatever is in this format. And this becomes 5 or 6/4. So let's go for Knightly Valor. We got a Knight. This becomes a 6/4 Vigilance. And I'll go ahead and attack. And I'm fine with him double blocking, because that gets both of his guys off the board and I get to draw a card. Both die. I'll draw a card. Pass. And we end up with a Vigilant Knight out of the deal. So now he has Towergeist and 3 other cards, which means he still has a lot to work with here. But hopefully this Read the Bones will be able to find me enough action to get it done. Plays Undead Servant, which gets him a zombie, unfortunately. So he's matching our card advantage 1-for-1 pretty well. Rabid Bloodsucker, that's not a bad one. I think I'm gonna play that in my throwing knife here. Question is if I want to attack with my knight. I feel like I don't, because I'd rather trade it for his servant than the zombie token. I mean, we don't know how many he has in his deck, but I guess maybe we don't want that to die necessarily. I could also play throwing knife and equip, but doesn't seem like the best option. I'm gonna go ahead and attack actually. Try to keep his board clear. Token's just gonna be around to trade anyway. So let's play the Bloodsucker first. Both lose 2. And then I'll follow up with throwing knife and pass. There's the Towergeist. Still haven't seen what his white mana is for. He just has a very blue-black value deck. Puts Bone to Ash in his graveyard. Okay. He just passes. Ooh, Blessed Spirit's not bad. So I think I want to kick things off with a Read the Bones, just to make the most informed decision possible. Scry to the Infernal Scar and Rune Servitor. I'll take the Infernal Scarring, don't really want that right now. We draw Totem Guide Heartbeast, interesting. Play my land. I think I'm gonna equip the throwing knife and see if he lets me go to combat. cast Send to Sleep, which I was kind of hoping for, because that forces him to use it on only one creature. So that's not going to untap next turn, but I will play my Blessed Spirits. So we're sort of, I'd say it's a pretty even game. It's just if he plays one more big haymaker, it might be enough to push it over the edge for him. It's been a pretty interesting game so far, though. He's going to attack with the Servant, and I'll just take it. Not worried about the ground anymore, because I have the Heart Beast. Shambling Ghoul's fine. So our Bloodsucker is not going to untap this turn, which is alright. Okay, so I have 8 mana, 9 mana to work with, which means I can... Okay, which auras do I have left in my deck? I have the 4 mana Arrest that I can go get, but I don't really want that right now. I'd rather wait till he plays his big Sphinx or whatever. So, I kind of want to just move the Throwing Knife over. Attached a card here. And we'll go to combat, see what happens. And we'll sack the Throwing Knife to deal 2 damage to the Towergeist. He takes 2. I will play the Heart Beast, see if it resolves. It does. Let's see what our options are. Yeah, it looks like it's either Weight of the Underworld or Suppression Bonds. Suppression Bond seems a little better. Play my land and pass. I'm not playing the Infernal Scarring this turn because he had a bunch of open mana. I didn't want to get bounced or something in response. Alright, Artificer's Epiphany is fine. I guess the one thing to note is that Almaret can prevent me from casting Suppression Bonds, so it's not actually a very good answer to it. Alright, so here I think I am going to cast the Infernal Scarring. Probably on the Bloodsucker, or maybe the Blessed Spirits. I guess the Blessed Spirits is better, so I'd rather him kill the Bloodsucker. So let's start with Infernal Scarring. He's responding. And this is not really what you want to see with, yeah, there's Unholy Hunger. That's pretty bad for me. Oops. So yeah, that dies. Let's think about this for a minute. I could like put Suppression Bonds on a Shambling Ghoul and attack with the Heart Beast. So we'd be attacking for 6, but that doesn't really seem worth it. I think I'm just going to send with the Blessed Spirits. Pass. So yeah, we are tentatively ahead now, but again, if he, yep, there's the Almaret. It's really bad. And I don't think we have a good way of answering that. So we have to reveal our hand. The name of an online card reveal that way. Opponent can't cast spells with the chosen name. Yep, so now we're going to have to find another way to deal with that Almaret. I'm not sure how many there are. Weight of the Underworld wouldn't be horrible here. Evolving Wild's not so good. Yeah, so we're just gonna have to... I'm gonna play the Evolving Wilds even though he knows about it, just so I can thin my deck. Yeah, not in the best shape here. I'm just gonna take 5. Sack this. Grab a swamp. Guilt Leaf Winnower doesn't even kill it. Draw land, unfortunately. So let's send with the spirits again. Play my plains. Pass. Yep. Go to 5. Sigiled Starfish, sure. Alright, let's draw something. Ooh, okay, Weight of the Underworld is one of the few draws that keeps us alive, I think. So we get to put it on his Almaret. That becomes a 2-power. So if he attacks with everything, we can block his Servant and take 4, go to 1, and we have lethal with our Blessed Spirit, so he's going to have to leave his guy back. Assuming he has absolutely nothing, of course. So I'll attach that there, and just hope we get there. Upkeep, he gets to scry 1. He leaves it on top, which is not good. Reeve Soul, okay, that'll do it. Alright, well, good games. Let's go to game 3. See if there's anything we want to do here. Dark Dabbling seems very good. Macabre Waltz also seemed quite good. What didn't seem good? All these seem good. Throwing Knife was sort of mediocre. Maybe I want to cut that. Yeah, I think I like cutting Throwing Knife.